Okay, hi. Hello, friends. Welcome in, and what is up, gamers? Hi, everybody. It's lovely to be back. I missed you on Monday. I was busy being at the dentist's office and having a time. It's been a time. I'm fine, thankfully. Older viewers may remember that I've been having a lot of dentist visits over the last few months, and it's been an ordeal, and it's been an expensive ordeal at that, and it's been a lot. So for the time being, hopefully it's done. It's hard to tell at the moment because I think my mouth is still adjusting to what's happening to my teeth, but never mind. Enough about that. Joe is/was here. I just say hi and bye. I have meeting. Love you. Love you too, Joe. Thank you very much for the lurk. I hope your meeting is going well. Q2s, thank you very much for the hydrate. I'll take a sip in just a second. And Owl Quill, hello, welcome in. It's lovely to see you all. I hope you are all well. I'm so overjoyed to be back. And also, I don't want to speak right now because the birds outside are being very articulate. And frankly, I think whatever they have to say is more interesting than me, but I don't know if the mic is going to pick it up. Of course, as soon as I stop talking, almost all of them shut up. Damn it! I was hoping you'd get to hear some delightful bird song. Never mind. Anyways, I will take a sip. You getting all those cheeps? They're very chatty, the birds in my neighborhood. I really love it. The birds in our neighborhood have been very, I mean, they're always very, I don't want to say loud, but just very vocal, I guess, is the best way to put it. I'm having a sip. This is a blend of mint teas. It's peppermint and spearmint. It is one of my favorites of the genre, and it remains delicious. Anyways, I am also moisturizing my hands before we start because I think it's important to have good limber hands, and that's not just like, you know, your muscles and your joints in your hands, but also the elasticity of the skin on your hands. So keeping things nice and limber from every possible angle for the doing of the artwork and not doing myself an oof-ouch injury to that. And I'm also just going to do a little bit of a wrist stretch as well. Just doing that thing where you kind of put your hands in prayer position, but you kind of stretch a little bit at the same time, and then fold in the other direction on either side. Anyways, but yeah, some wonderful birdsong in our neighborhood. I saw, was it yesterday morning, I suppose? Yeah, yesterday morning I had to go out. And so when I was at the bus stop, I could see magpies and jackdaws, and I'm pretty sure they were coal tits. It was hard to make out the exact coloration of the plumage, but they were quite small, and there was definitely sort of like a gray and blackness to them. So I think it was coal tits, which I do see some fairly regularly in the neighborhood. I do see other species of tit as well. The bird. I'm speaking of a species of bird and not anything that would violate TOS. Please and thank you, Twitch. Do not call me up on this. I am genuinely speaking about birds. We are avian enjoyers in this stream. This is also an adult stream for grown-ups, but I tend to keep at least the art content fairly general audiences rated. Anyways. Oh my goodness. Owl Quill says, I saw house sparrows and a herd of sheep today. Oh, I'm so jelly you got to see sheeps. That's amazing. I mean, also you got to see sparrows. That's delightful. But sheeps? Oh my goodness. There's not really any, like... I don't live near enough to any land where, like... like sheep or cows or anything like that graze. I'd have to go, I think, a distance from where I live for that. But we do have some nice meadowy areas where people like to take their dogs out for run around time, and that's always nice because it means a lot of dogs live in my neighborhood and I get to see a lot of dogs, which is really, really lovely. There are also foxes in my neighborhood, but they're typically out when I am in bed. The one and only time I saw a fox in my neighborhood, and I felt so blessed by it. I thought, this is a good omen for the rest of my journey. I was on my way to catch a bus, to catch a train, to go to Brussels. I think we were going to Brussels because we we had a train out of London at 9 a.m. And we had to get there for like 7:30 to check in for the train, because it's one of the ones where, you know, obviously you're going into mainland Europe, they have to check your passports and stuff, which is a faff, which means that you have to get there early, which means that in order to get to London from where we live in Oxfordshire, we had to leave the house at about 4 a.m. which is stupid early, and meant that I was exhausted for our first day of our 3-day trip. Not great. I think we went to, basically, I think what we did on that day is we went to like one coffee shop. We duded around a tiny amount, trying to get some groceries, and ended up deciding that rather than go out for a meal, we were just going to get something from a supermarket and eat it in the hotel room. And the pickings, to be honest, for things you could just like eat as like a little picnic in your hotel room were really slim, at least from the Carrefour that we found in the city center. So that was, oh dear. But lovely city. Other than that, apart from my two minor complaints about Brussels, and they are very minor because I do think it's a lovely city. Excellent, like the specialty coffee scene is really, really strong, which is, you know, my my criteria for enjoying a visit to a foreign city is the public transit system reliable, and am I going to be able to get a genuinely good cup of coffee? If these two things are satisfied, I'm a happy camper. And the public transit system is reliable, but what I will say is, oh my goodness, some of the drivers on the metro have lead feet. Like, it goes from 0 to 1,000,000 in the space of a nanosecond. And if you haven't found a seat and you're trying to find some place to comfortably stand and hold like a pole or something, you will fall over. And I did see an older lady get knocked over when the train was just like, okay, let's go. She was fine, but it was concerning. Also, every single lift that we got in at a metro station smelled of wee. Which is, you know, not awesome, but not necessarily the most damning of indictments, in the grand scheme of things, in as much as the public transit was fine. I loved the trams. The trams were great. Anyways, but yeah, the lift smelled like wee, metro of variable speed, but a lovely city otherwise. I had a great time. Anyways, it helps that I know French. Anywho, Alqua says, work is on the edge of an industrial area with fields on the other side of the street, but today was the first time I saw sheep. I'm so happy for you that you saw sheep. That's very exciting. Brexit is sad, says Alqua. I wholeheartedly agree. And if it were up to me, I'd be like, hey, hey, Europe, some very silly people made a very silly decision, that, to be honest, I think the majority of voters in this country don't actually agree with anymore. So, hi, about that. Could we maybe get back in on that? Because, like, you know, I mean, I realize that I'd be groveling at this point, but like, I might as well be standing up because I'm super short, so, you know, at least I don't have to be like on my knees groveling. But I feel like some groveling would be involved. Anyways, Alquil says, I don't get into lifts in subway stations often, but in Cologne they tend to smell of pee. I'm so sorry. But, like, need to be better provision of public loos, I think, is the answer to this. So that people don't, you know, because I assume that that's the reason that people is because there's not enough places for them to, in, the correct location that is cleaned regularly for such things. Anyways, hello, Leaky. Welcome on in. How are you doing? It's lovely to see you, and welcome. But we'll bear that in mind next time I'm in Cologne. Great. Anyways. I will say of other cities I visited recently, I think London seems fine for lift perfumes. Toronto also seemed fine for the bouquet of their lifts. Amsterdam was fine, and so was Copenhagen. But Brussels, woof. Whiffy. Anyways. Public toilets cost money to use, is a common and reasonable complaint from foreigners visiting Germany. Yeah. I don't know. I just think I think that this is gonna sound wild. This is gonna sound crazy, but I just think that like the right to exist in public and be able to just do basic human business in a comfortable, discreet, and non-judgmental way is a kind of a basic human right that should be freely available for everyone. Everyone pees and poops and needs to wash their hands afterwards. I don't know. I just think you should be able to go do that, in a safe and pleasant environment that's not horrifying and is not also ruining a lift for people who need to use it to, get to various levels of a building or structure. Anyways, we're painting Terry the Forg Mage's little adventure. And I realized after finishing what we got done last time that once again I put down sort of some colors here. These colors are way too pale compared to these trees. I want the trees to be a bit darker than this ground, but this ground is too light, and I don't like that. So I'm gonna need to glaze over it with some more darker color, and I think I'm going to do that for at least this hill, if not also this hill. I haven't decided yet, but it's just feeling a little too pale, and I don't like. I mean, it's got the balance is gonna change when we color in Terry as well. But it just feels a little too light. So I'm gonna have to. And annoyingly, I've already put all of the little mushrooms and stuff, so I'm gonna have to be careful to not, disturb the mushrooms whilst also darkening down the other areas of this bit of painting. Anyways, technically the loo isn't free at home either. Dang water bill, says Rex. Oh, don't remind me. Every time I shower, I'm like, oh geez, how much water am I using? Oh geez. Because I've got very long hair. It is if my hair is just now, my hair is also curly. So it's if it was straightened out and soaking wet, it would be even further down. But it's it is inching toward not just I would say a couple centimeters touching my butt when I'm standing, and it's just sort of going down my back. So my hair is quite long at this, but I think it's the longest it's ever been in my life. It's longer than it looks in this portrait here. Cause this portrait is from about a year ago, I think. So, yeah. I need to make a new PNG tuber. I actually have an idea for a new PNG tuber design that I want to do. I'm really excited about it. It's really stupid. But I think it's gonna be really good. So I think that might be what we paint after we finish this. I want to do something for Lunar New Year as well before we run out of time, because that's in just under 2 weeks, I believe, or is it a week? I can't remember. Anyways, I don't know. What is time? Anyways, also hello Rex. If I didn't say hello Rex. Hello Rex. It's lovely to see you. Welcome on in. I hope you're well. my brain is having a little adventure and an experience today, and if I uh if at any point I just seem to not have anything interesting to say, it's because the constant information stream in my head right now has been for the last 2 days nothing but my current hyperfixation song, which, if you've never heard it, is like, I feel like there are certain pieces of music that just resonate really well with an ADHD brain, in ways that it's just like, this music is varied and interesting enough to hold my focus in a really weird and cool way. And there are certain specific examples of this. There's like a couple songs by Orbital that do this really, really well. There's, if you've ever heard the band Dutch Uncles, they do it really well as well. It's kind of like, there isn't a lot of music that will just kind of switch off my brain and confuse me enough that I don't, some people are like, oh man, I'm feeling kind of frazzled and I need to, or stressed, I want to calm down, so I listen to like calm, gentle music, like, I don't know, like Brian Eno's music for airports. This is me showing like my musical knowledge is niche and unpopular, because I'm like, what's like calm, gentle music? And my brain just goes to like Music for Airports by Brian Eno. Everyone knows that, right? Maybe, I don't know, maybe Enya is a good example. Anyways, like that kind of, just like, calm, gentleness. Eric Satie, Moss Grotto theme. That's a good one. Yeah, Moss Grotto theme. Thank you, Alquill. Also, a lot of my music listening these days is video game soundtracks. I mean, have you heard the works of Christopher Larkin? It's delightful. Good listening. Gazillion out of 10 do recommend. Even if you're not playing Hollow Knight or Silksong, just go listen to the soundtrack. They're gorgeous. Anyways, but yeah, sometimes when my brain is very frizzy and I can't focus on stuff and I just feel like, I'm stressed, I'm sensory overloaded, I need to just block out absolutely everything else and listen to some music that like confuses my brain enough that it holds my focus in a really like healing kind of way. I don't know. This sounds hokey. Anyways, I'm stressed. The circumstances I'm under are stressed. And I'm feeling kind of, my brain is short-circuiting and I'm not having a great time of it. My song for that at the moment is Birdhouse in Your Soul by They Might Be Giants. Which, this is not a new song. It's from like 1989 or something. I don't know. Anyways, but I was just like, you know what? This is the perfect song for when my brain be like this. And so it's just been my earworm for days, and I've been listening. I was like listening to it on repeat earlier today, and I was like, this is exactly what I need. Anyways, it's quite, how shall I say? It's quite sort of, it's energetic, but it also has like a fuck ton of key changes in it, like so many key changes. So it's a confusing piece of music in that way. And it's also it's very, very well done. I really like it. Anyways, but yeah, so I've just had like a constant radio of that song over and over and over in my head for like the last 2 or 3 days. And it's not showing any sign of stopping. It's playing in my head right now. So if I go real quiet, it's just because the radio in my head is very loud. That was my extremely roundabout way of saying there's a song stuck in my head and it's kind of blocking out my ability to form new thoughts. Anyways, Tomcat, hello, welcome in. It's lovely to see you. Hello. I hope you're well as well. I hope you're having a wonderful Thursday. And Eddie, thank you very much for the lurk as well. I hope you have a lovely, lovely lurk. Hello. I hope you are both very, very well. As for me, I'm doing pretty good. As I mentioned up top, obviously, I'm sorry that I wasn't able to stream on Monday. I had a dentist's appointment at 3:30. It ended up, unsurprisingly, in a shocking twist of events, surprising no one, my appointment did start late, and I think I wasn't really out of the dentist's office until about 5 o'clock, at which point I felt disoriented and weird, and definitely not in any real condition to be doing doing streaming for the internet. I did do some painting just independent of stream at home, and I did film a bit of that, I think. Which I did did I post it on I don't know. I think it probably went in like an Instagram story. But I was working on like off-stream painting anyway, so I was working on this, which I don't know if you can see, but it's a Star Trek fan art. I've just been on. I've been feeling the Star Trek lately. Also my sort of long time on and off hyperfixation hath returned sometime last year, and it is showing no signs of letting up for the moment. So I'm letting that wash over me as well. Speaking of washing things over me, I'm just gonna very gently and with not too much paint on my brush, I'm just going over all of these areas of this little hill with a stronger color. I think we might lose the kind of blobby bits a little bit. That's okay. What you want to make sure of, because I think some of these colors are going to want to lift if you put too much wetness on top of them, so I'm putting there's very little paint on my brush right now as I do this, because that's always the concern when you decide that it's like, oh, this needs more color, I need to add more paint to it, that in so doing you're gonna oh, that's already better. I don't even know if you can tell on stream, but I feel like that's already an improvement. I am going to add some additional like elements to this area as well, like some grasses and ferns and texture and stuff, but just having that as the base for it, I think feels a little bit more, a little less just weirdly pale. This feels more like kind of the color of some autumnal old grass, which is, I think, a better outlook, a better aesthetic base for it. And I am going to darken down this hill in the back as well, actually. While we're at it, I will do that also. But I'm going to take a sip of one of my teas. Which tea shall I have? I will have this one, which is... this is, I think, apple... Hang on. Yeah, this is apple cider. So it's like apple and cinnamon and cloves and... maybe some ginger. I can't remember. Spiced apple situation, which I find a very comforting taste. So good. Anyways, yes. What else did I get up to this week? There was a painting I finished off stream recently that was it's here. Yeah. Again, it's a Star Trek. Anyways, just in time for Threshold Day, which was last week. It was Captain Janeway with a nice cup of coffee. But yes, anywho. I really want to do something for the Lunar New Year. But also, I don't like how is my horse anatomy as a painter and a drawer of things, a person who draws. I can't really say drawer because that's spelled the same as drawer, which is a part of furniture. But you know what I mean. Person what draws. Horses are not necessarily my forte. I think in terms of like horse style, I've mostly drawn like a Dala style horse. Which is a very specific breed of horse. If you're not familiar with them, they are from Sweden, and I will find. Oh, that's. I think I could do another layer on top of that of the green, because I think I want this to be a slightly darker value than that. I don't know. Rex says, What if you were a drawer that draws? A drawer... Oh, excuse me, I got hiccups. A drawer. That's so hard to say. Why is that so hard to say? I don't know. Anyways, this is the breed of horse that I think I'm most familiar with like being able to draw, and as you can see, from this, it is fairly niche. I'm gonna try and pull up an image. Why is that so small? Let me zoom in a bit. Oh, that's so pixelated. Ew. Okay. Where's my looking at things screen? Yay. Okay. There we go. All right. This is my Instagram. This is not a horse, obviously. If you think this is a horse, I must be worse at drawing and painting than I thought I was. I loved this piece. I love this piece, and I don't think other people like it as much as I do. To which I say, tough biscuits. Get better taste in paintings. This is very good, actually. And this is their partner. And this is a Dala horse. With human person for scale right at the bottom, I've just noticed. There's a person down here going, yippee! I met a giant Dala horse. And you know, that's exactly how I would react if I had ever seen a Dala horse in person that was that big. Alquil says, oh, the cup is so cute. Thank you. Thank you. The teacup and the Sports Direct mug are dating. They are in love. And coming soon to a sticker update near you. I'm going to make them into stickers. And then you can take the stickers and make them kiss if you want to. Because they are dating. But obviously you don't have to. Unless you're weird like me and you do that. Anyways, I wish this would dry. I wish I would be confident that this was dried down enough that I could add more gubbins to it. Or maybe should I do another one on this area? Should I do another one on this area and leave that one as it is and then leave that one as it is? Maybe. Because I do like the, you know, sort of perspective-y doodah of having things kind of fade into the background and having slightly bolder colors right at the front, because that, you know, is a good way of reflecting and creating a sense of depth and distance in your landscapes. Life is hard. Thank you for the gnomes and the nice cup of tea, Leaky. I'm gonna sip. Actually, I can't decide which one I'm gonna sip, so I'm gonna sip both of them, not quite at the same time, but one after the other. That's mint. And that's apple cinnamon, and they don't particularly go together. Actually, they kind of do. I don't sweeten this one, but I sweeten this one. So if I sip this first, it makes that one taste even sweeter. Which is kind of nice. Because I've cut back on the amount that I sweeten my drinks, because I'm trying to wean myself off of having sweetened beverages as much as I can. Because, well, excess amounts of sugar isn't good for you, but also I just don't like the way that sweeteners taste in most contexts. Also, I think it was, yesterday, I got this protein bar to have as a, because I was out of the house all day, and I wasn't anywhere where I'd be able to get, like, a lunch meal properly, so I just had, like, a bunch of bits that I could pick at, like, you know, a little sort of snack-sized bag of almonds, and also what else? I had like a snack-sized bag of almonds and some dried fruit and a little protein bar thing. Hello, Ernesto. Welcome in. It's lovely to see you, and good morning. I hope you are well. Welcome on in. But yeah, also I had this like protein bar thing, and it did have like sweeteners in it. And I think this is just like my middle age. I've kind of gone off a lot of sweets, like a lot of very, very sweet things. That isn't to say that I can't still just like neck a shooter of maple syrup like it's nothing. But that's just because I'm Canadian. But a lot of the time I'm finding with like, you know, sort of like sweets and that kind of thing that they're too sweet. And this was like, I was like, I want the good for you things in this, like protein and fiber, and because protein and fiber will give me energy, and you know, sort of like some carbohydrates will give me energy to get on with my day, and I need something that's going to give me energy to get on with my day that is easy to eat. that I can just have on the go that doesn't need to be refrigerated. So this protein bar is great. But also, it tastes like a Mars bar. And frankly, I don't know if it's because it used like sweetener in it, because it didn't have that like nasty, like weird chemical cloying taste that I get from like if I have like a Pepsi Max or something like that, or like a Coke, sort of a Coke Zero, Diet Coke, whatever, which I hate. I can't do artificial sweeteners in drinks. I think it's nasty. Just, to my taste, I think I'm quite sensitive to them. But it didn't have that, even though it did have sweeteners in it. But what it did do is I had just the most horrifying stomach cramps. Just the worst tummy trouble that afternoon. And I don't know if it was because of that protein bar, because that was the only sort of novel thing that I ate that day. But oh my god, my tummy hurt so bad. So, oh no, and I say oh no because I had groceries delivered today, and I was like, oh, these protein bars seem all right. So I'd ordered like 3 of them, taste untasted, and so now I have more of these. And if it turns out that the sweetener in it gives me horrible tummy aches, then I just spent like £5 on food that is pain for me. Yippee! No. Listen, here's the thing. I'm never going to be the kind of person who like pre-makes a lunch and takes it out with me so that I can eat when I'm on the go. I can't do it. I don't have it in me. Like, make a sandwich and pack it up in a little sandwich bag, and by the time I get to wherever I'm going, I'm like, this sandwich has been sitting squashed at the bottom of my bag for 4 hours. This disgusts me now, and I will not eat it. Because that doesn't seem food safe, even though it perfectly is. I just get in my head about it, and I'm just like, no, I do not want, can't do it. Struggles. What am I doing about this color? Is it dry enough that I can put down another layer? I hope so. I might need to go back and kind of like redefine a couple of these little piles of mushroom as well. If I do that, I'm sorry, I just said do that. Anyways, if I do that, I might need to go fix some of these mushies, but I think I do. There's a little. Okay. Quick, decisive strokes here. Decisive strokes and as little paint as possible. That is the key. To not ruining your painting. And again, I might just go in and actually give a little additional definition to some of these little buddies here and there that I feel like have kind of gotten faded being painted over. But that's easily remedied, so like it's fine. But anyways, but yeah, I don't know if that protein bar story was TMI. I'm sorry, I don't really have anything else interesting to report. Okay, that again feels like it almost didn't do much, but I feel like it has made a difference. I think this is better. I think I can work with this kind of selection of values now going forward, which is a great. Anyways, Rex says, I like Cliff Bars, but they've mostly priced me out of wanting them. That's the other thing, is that these, like, protein bars are so expensive. They're so expensive. It's like, I think it was, like, almost, but not quite. I think it was Bear Bells is the brand that I got. And, because they were very well reviewed, and that's important to me, but also they didn't have, there was another one that I tried and I actually really liked, but then I saw on the ingredients list that they contain a little bit of wheat starch, and I'm sensitive to wheat, so that also didn't go well for me. Oh no. So I got these ones because they were well reviewed, but they're also almost £3 each. Unless you buy like an entire case of them at a time. Um, which I'm gonna not do. I remember a gazillions of years ago there were these bars that they used to have that were made with like, I don't know, there was like a gazillion of healthy things in them. It was made with like spirulina and green algae and blah 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 blah. But they mostly just tasted like blueberries and oats. Even though they looked like horrible dark gray sludge. But they also had like so much. They had like a day's worth of fiber in a bar, and I would just buy them by the case and just eat that for my breakfast and be very happy. Um, but yeah, they're also g-dang expensive. Eating is hard. Being a person is hard. I have no solutions for this. It sucks. My solutions generally are to stay at home as much as possible and just eat things at home, which is a lot less expensive. Because I can just, like make myself stuff. I can just be like, what am I gonna have now? I'm gonna make myself a miso soup. I'm gonna have, I'm gonna cut up an apple and have it with some almond butter, or I'm gonna have some toast with jam, all that jazz. I can't do that when I'm out of the house, though. I need something that I can just shove in my purse and know that it's, like non-perishable. And that turns out, especially when you can't have wheat, it really starts narrowing the possibilities there. So I was trying the protein bar thing, but I don't think it's sustainable because a tummy ache, and also it's too much money. Anyways, I lost my train of thought halfway through that. That bar sounds like someone selling rapashi to humans. Rapashi is a fish food. Oh, I see. I remember fish foods. I used to have fish pets that lived in my house when I was young and back in Canada. There like to the extent that like I can conjure in my mind's nose the smell of fish food, and it's a very nostalgic smell to me because I can remember all of the beautiful little fish that would doot around in this big tank of mostly African cichlids. They're very cute. Anyways, Mark Simoff, thank you very much for the follow. Welcome on in. Thank you. I hope you are well. I hope you're having a lovely Thursday. I hope your week's been good as well. It's so nice to be back. And it's nice to be painting as well. I've been very... I feel like my creative output has slowed, but I think the truth is I've been painting a lot. I've been painting a lot on my off days, but the difference is like the amount of painting that I'm able to get done in a single session is like for reference, I think the last time I sat down to do a painting session earlier in the week off stream, I managed to do like this color block of this guy's tunic, his trousers, and his trousers, and that's all I did, and it took me like an hour, because my I think focus and brain are not necessarily cooperating very well with each other, but I'm doing a lot, and I'm very inspired, but actually translating that into output is really it's rough. Anyways, but that being said, I do have exciting... This is not exciting for anyone but me, I grant, but this is exciting personal news for me. My wedding anniversary is in 2 days. On Saturday, I will have been married to my moderator/spouse for 11 sexy years, and I'm very happy about that, obviously. I am streaming as normal tomorrow, whilst my moderator/spouse will be sleeping in, and then I will be dashing off immediately after stream to go on a date with him, so that'll be nice. And then we are going out to dinner on Saturday night as well. And my plan, and I do have one, is to make a cake for us on Saturday that will be a reproduction of the cake that I made for our wedding. I did bake our wedding cake myself, incidentally. Like the day and the night before the wedding, I was in my kitchen baking like multiple batches of like little butterfly cakes, and I decided that the most expedient way to serve these was to actually do them as like cupcakes. I had one small springform heart-shaped tin that my moderator and slash spouse and I shared, and I was able to put like wedding toppers on. The wedding toppers were Legos of us, but dressed in formal wear. And everyone else got little like butterfly cupcakes, and they were like black forest, so chocolate sponge with whipped cream and cherries, and they were so good. And it remains both of us our favorite cake. So I'm very excited to be having that. But I don't know if I've ever made this as a gluten-free sponge before, so wish me luck. I'm going to be using a flour blend of my own devising. And I have a whole bunch of alternative flours to be blending together, including superfine rice flour, oat flour, brown rice flour, potato starch, xanthan gum, and I think that should do it. I do also have additionally brown rice protein, which I will be trying to... My plan is to use that as an additional ingredient in my bread flour blend to see if I can get better results for... Because like every attempt I've made to do yeasted bread type stuff with gluten-free flour has resulted in something that A, is scone-like in texture, and 2, really needs to be served warm, otherwise it tastes dense and kind of gritty. And I'm trying to combat this. So I'm amassing like all of these bags of specialized ingredients like brown rice protein, hydroxypropyl methyl cellulose, xanthan gum, yada yada yada. Super fine rice flour as opposed to regular rice flour because that's what makes it gritty. Anyways, so wish me luck producing a cromulent chocolate cake. I'm sure it'll be fine, but I am still nervous. Anyways, Leaky says, my reward for finishing another day of work is my shoulder suddenly being ouchy. Oh no! Oh no, I'm so sorry. If I could email you a hypo spray of anti-inflammatory to deal with that, I super would. I do not... I can't do that, but if you have like a painkiller that you can take, or maybe, you know, just like a little something warm to rest on it, I hope you can do that, or at least just try not to do anything with that arm. I'm very sorry, and I hope that it feels better. But also thank you for the happy anniversaries. Thank you. We are happy anniversary streamer / spouse and moderator / spouse. Thank you. What is scone-like texture, says Rex? Crunchy? I think it's kind of riddled with spikes. It's got sprinkles on it, but the sprinkles are rosaries, and the center is kind of underbaked and squishy. I'm specifically thinking, spoilers for Silksong, I'm specifically thinking of the area where if you fall in the water, it's like full of bugs, and then you get all like gross and nasty and covered in bugs, and it's squishy and bad. I'm imagining that inside the cake, but like minus the bugs because I'm a vegetarian. Anyways, how do you make scone-like bread? Well, first thing, you put a poncho on it, and oh man, now I want to make a little bread that looks like Hornet. That would be real cute. I'm not sure how I do... I feel like I know how I'd do that if it was a cake, actually. I think that could be really cute. Ooh! Yay! Leaky says, thankfully I found my warm lavender wheat bag in the exact doom pile I knew it was buried in. Yay! Ah, the joy of having a system and knowing exactly where things are in what pile. I relate to that so hard. My organizational life is piles, but I know where everything is in those piles. That's the difference. Anyways, yeah, scone-like bread. I think there wants to be some surprising spikes in it. And, I don't know. Like, I want to say something that would give me tummy trouble and make me feel stressed. So maybe for me, anyways, it just contains a lot of, like, wheat and gluten. Yeah, that's it. I don't know. I am confusion. I've confused myself. But, I mean, honestly, what's new? Okay, are you no, you're wet-ish. Oh, no. Oh, no. When the bit of the painting that you want to attend to is wet-ish, what is a creature to do? I think what I'm gonna do is whilst that is drying, I'm just gonna take a little bit of my blue. And use that to just kind of get a little definition between hill and sky. Because why not? Dan! Hello, welcome in. It's lovely to see you. I hope you're having a wonderful Thursday. I hope you've had a good week. How are you doing? Make some toothpicks and dental floss into the bread, says Rex. No! Oh, it's traumatic. Oh, after everything I've been through at the dentist, that is just horrifying. But anyways, is everything cozy today? Things are fairly cozy. I am wearing my favorite cardigan. It's about a gazillion years old. I really want to attempt to, like, recreate this pattern because it's just so stinking comfy. And it is eventually going to die because I've had it for a very long time. And, you know, I've tried to find a cardigan in this style from other, like, clothing manufacturers, and it's just, they just ain't doing it, which is really annoying. And I have tried to, like, phase synthetic fibers out of a lot of my wardrobe in the last few years. I try not to buy things except for stuff like you know, undergarments, which I can't really be as choosy about generally, because they need to be, you know, like, real stretchy. For outer garments, I tend to try not to get as much stuff that's made with, like, acrylic and polyester and whatever. It's just me personally, I prefer it. So trying to find, like, something that's, like, just made of, like, cotton or linen cotton or wool or, like, cotton and wool or whatever that is the style of this cardigan is basically impossible. Like, it doesn't exist. No one's making it. I'm going to have to knit it myself, and that's very stressful because I don't knit things as large as cardigans ever. And honestly, the way this is constructed, a lot of it feels like the pieces were, I mean, it was definitely knit on a machine, obviously, but it was knit on a machine and then the pieces were, like, kind of just sewn together. Possibly, like, just pieces of knit that were, like, cut and sewn together. So trying to pattern it out into something that I can just knit myself is a struggle. Also, you can see where, like, years ago I got ink on it. That is magenta acrylic ink that has never washed out. Yippee. That's fine. Anywho, gonna also do a little bit of line weight for the little hill up there. This bad boy. And I have this horrible habit of being like, okay, I'm gonna position the piece in a place that feels comfortable for me to paint it, not realizing that I'm, like, trailing off screen and you can't actually see what I'm doing. Which is, you know, that's not great. That's not awesome. I'm gonna get a little definition on these little sort of patches of shrubs or trees or whatever the hell they are as well, just because I think it'll be cute. Hopefully is cute. I don't know. Okay. Yay! Alright, cool. That feels cute. How are we already in ads? You know, I say how are we already in ads, but I have actually painted this stream, and we're just coming up to an hour in now, which honestly feels pretty darn good, all things considered. Like, I feel confident and positive about that, because it's not always the case that I've done any painting this early into a stream. So congratulations me, I guess. I'm going back over this one because I feel like it just wasn't quite present enough. Actually, I might just do that for all of them. Apart from that one up top, which feels honestly quite perfect, just the way it is. Okay. Withered. Cool. All right. Well, that's done something. Has it done something good? I hope so. Actually, no. I think that's good. I think it's cute. And then once when this still feels a little bit damp, I'm gonna I think by the time we come back from ads, I should be able to come in and start adding some more like environmental elements to this. I want to fix up some of the, you can see where some of the little toadstools kind of got a little faded in glazing over it, like darkening down the sort of grassy bits. So I want to go back and give them a little bit of additional definition. And then I want to add maybe some like grasses and ferns and that kind of stuff to give this area a little bit more texture and just make it feel a little bit more lived in, as opposed to just like a blanket of grass with a couple of bits sticking out here and there. I want to make it feel a little bit more full, give us a little bit more of a sense of the depth that's happening here. And then we can finally paint Terry, and then we can be done this painting, and then I can move on with my life and paint something new. In case anyone forgets or doesn't remember, this was originally... This is a recreation of this piece, which is the very first painting of Terry I ever did. I wanted to update it, so that's what we're doing right now. But right now, we're going to break because we're about to have ads, and I don't want y'all to miss anything while ads are running if you're not subbed. So, on to the BRB screen we go. I'll be back in a few minutes. Have a nice break, have a drink, have a stretch, take your meds if you need to, do all that jazz. I shall see you very soon. BRB, everyone. Hello, friends, I'm back. Hi. Sorry about that. If this stream ends up being shorter than usual, it's because your streamer is having chest pains. But hopefully I'll be fine. But that's fun. Anyways, hi, I'm back. Sorry about the wait. What have I missed? Anything? No. Okay. I'm gonna keep painting then. Yay. Yippee. Good stuff. First of all, I don't know if I'm jumping the gun doing this, but I'm gonna add a little line weight to the tiny amount of this hill that you can actually see. Most of it is obscured by trees. But how's everybody? How are your breaks? I hope that was fine. I hope you're still good. Hope everything's okay. This, I think I mentioned last time, this brush is dying. And I've been looking at getting a brush to replace it, but I couldn't find any brushes on at least the art supplies shop that I usually shop from. I buy most of my art supplies online from Jackson's Art. Not sponsored. I just find that they have a good selection of quality stuff. Tends to be good priced, and I like the things that they sell. I even use their like art supply store own branded paper more often than not, because like it's cheap and I genuinely think it's a pretty good paper. And that's, important. Oh good, a bunch of things just fell down because I extricated that from a pile. Also, if I sound like I'm talking funny, it's because I am holding a paintbrush in my teeth. Yay. Okay, is that secure? I don't think that's secure at all. Never mind. Anyways, okay, it's fine. But yeah. I couldn't find a paintbrush to replace this one. It is I did measure it. I took like my sewing tape measure and found that it is in width, it's about 1 to 1.5 millimeters wide, and then in length it's about 5 millimeters. I can't find any brushes as short as this, but I do actually like the shortness of this brush. This was based on the fact that it's made by Humbrol. This is in fact a model painting brush. This will have been a cheapo model painting brush that I inherited from my moderator slash spouse. Though that being said, I think my moderator slash spouse generally actually uses like artist paintbrushes to do his model painting these days. As you could, okay, that's not coming to focus at all. But this is a Winsor and Newton. That's not a model painting brand. That's just like a general art brand. Anyways. Hello again, Rex. Thank you for the interesting emotes. I love it. Hello, Mimicry. Welcome in. How are you doing? It is wonderful to see you, and welcome. This feels relatively dry. Sometimes it's hard to tell when the paper is still just ever so slightly damp. You know what I mean? But I think we're okay to soldier on, to continue ahead. So I'm going to take a little bit of this. I'm actually using the purple for this. Which I think will actually should work okay. And again, I don't want too much water in this, because I don't want it to kind of bleed around. I want it to be fairly contained. But I accidentally took off quite a lot of this paint, so I want to kind of put it back. And give it a little bit more depth and definition. I'm not the one licking paintbrushes, says Rex. Ew! Please don't... I don't think that's... I mean, I'm glad that you're not licking paintbrushes, certainly. But yeah, anyways. What was my point? I probably had one. Oh yeah, I'm going to need to replace this brush soon, and I'm looking for a replacement that is an appropriate size and shape, and it's proving to be a struggle. But it has been pointed out to me by my moderator slash spouse that I could potentially get something that is a longer bristle length and just chomp. But I don't know if that's going to make for like a not good like bristle shape, I guess. Though with that being said, it kind of looks like that's what was done to this one before it came into my arsenal of brushes here. And Anana is so covered in paint. Absolutely covered in paint. There is just... the amount of paint that I've managed to get on this poor pineapple is quite a bit. But you know, he's taken it in his stride. And he's a very dedicated friend. A very good boy, I would say, is Anana. He holds my brushes so well. He never complains. He is a loyal and kind-hearted companion, and I'm very grateful to have him. I did, of course, build him out of Lego. This was, I think the range was, I know this build was retired. And I struggled hard to find it, in fact, because by the time I found out about it, I think the design had already been retired. They happened to still have like one in stock on like the Argos website, so I ordered it off of Argos. Because I think it was already out of stock on Lego's site. I was so grateful. And it's been such a good companion to the stream ever since. So I'm very happy we were able to do that. Anyways. Okay, I have re-established the mushies. I still feel like these ones still feel a little bit blurry to me. But I don't know, maybe that's okay. Maybe it's okay if they're a little bit blurry. I'm gonna be adding some like grass and ferns and stuff on top of this as well. So, like, whatever, it's fine. It's fine. It's all good. Okay, in other news, I have like no other news. What's my dinner tonight? Bricklink seems to be worth a try when one is looking for retired Lego stuff, says Alk. Well, Bricklink is great. I haven't used Bricklink to get like a full like build set like this before. I've mostly used Bricklink when I wanted to basically make myself a custom minifig. And I've done it a few times for that. There were, I think, specific things that I wanted to get as like gifts. And I've used Bricklink for that before. Like, I want to build this character that's not part of an official Lego set. How can I do that with Lego pieces that are available? And Bricklink can be very useful for that, though. Some stuff can be quite expensive on Bricklink, so be careful. Because it is like individual vendors selling bits and pieces. And so prices can vary pretty wildly, especially for things that, like, this was never part of a set just, like, on its own in and of itself. This is just, like, a specific minifigure. If it's something that's, like, in quite a bit of demand, it can get quite expensive. Yes. I haven't used Bricklink for anything for a few years, because, I haven't needed anything. I have several Lego sets that I have not built yet that I need to build. And so does my moderator / spouse. So it's not just me. I got him two. Not this Christmas, but the Christmas before, Animal Crossing Lego had been released, and I don't remember where it was, but I managed to find they were on such good sale that I ended up being able to get 2 Lego Animal Crossing sets for the price of one of those 2 Animal Crossing Lego sets. So it ended up costing me for like two Animal Crossing Lego sets ended up costing me about £25, which, if you know the price of Lego sets, is really good. And he hasn't built them. They're still in their boxes. I think part of the problem is we have like a finite amount of house, and our house has a lot of stuff in it. And we don't really have... He hates Animal Crossing, though, says Tan. No! Animal Crossing Lego, says Mimicry. Oh boy, have I got something to show you. I've got actually some things that were built on stream. Alcohol says, I recently got a retired set off of eBay, and 2 pieces were mixed up, and my friend recommended Bricklink, and yes, I got them. Yeah, there's basically, if a part exists, you can probably find it on Bricklink. So it's very, very useful. I saw them in a shop recently. They reminded me of the old Fabuland set, says Alquill. Let me see if I can just slide this over. Because it's kind of behind my computer. But, why does she have a flame on her head? That's silly. Anyways, this is actually 2 Animal Crossing sets for the price of 1. There's Maple, the bear, and Celeste the owl, and they're having tea together. There's Maple's pumpkin patch and Celeste's excuse me, stargazing outpost. These aren't supposed to be connected. I just connected them. But they were both two like small sets that I've put together into one big set so they can hang out with each other. Here's Celeste's little like guidebook to stars and like star maps and what have you. Um, but yeah, so that's that. And I'm going to try and put this back now because it's kind of behind the computer. In a secure location. Okay, there. I have done it. Owl, says Owl. Well, Celeste is indeed an owl. She's also one of my very favorite characters. She is the sister of Blathers, who is the curator of the museum. She is an astronomer, and she knows an awful lot about celestial phenomena and the stars and space and what have you. And she's also just incredibly cool. I am very snuffy now, so I'm gonna mute for just a second, BRB. And yes, I did put on the technical difficulty screen just to blow my nose, because I don't know, I thought it might be slightly more interesting than watching nothing happen on screen. um, anyways, welcome back, everyone. Gonna take a sip of my tea. Sorry about that. Apparently I'm allergic to Lego now. Oh no. Oh no. How many other things can I develop an allergy to? I wonder. Probably lots. Don't let's push our luck. Don't let's ask that question, because I feel like I'm at this point, the number of things that I've developed an allergy or an intolerance to, I feel like I'm playing with danger by asking, I wonder how many more. It's a stupid question. It's a terrible question. This is a very bad question. It should not be. Nope. Anyways. Oh, jeez. Okay. Do we want to add some just like grass textures into this grass? I think some grass texture down here might be if not good, then at least hopefully effective. I'm gonna use just, I think, green to do it. Just load a nice pleasant amount of green onto my brush, and I'm just mixing it on my little ricotta lid. This is, of course, the lid from a potto of ricotta. And then I'm just gonna grass. That is nowhere near dark enough. I need more. It needs more paint. It needs way more paint. That's basically invisible. So that's not working. This brush is basically dead. I'm gonna have to. I was gonna say, I did contemplate putting up like a new brush fund, as like a donations goal or something. But the thing is, brushes cost like £2 something. Even like a decent brush costs like £2 something. I can't put up a donations goal for that. That's just stupid. I do have a very large expense, which is I am applying for the citizenship, which is going to cost me more money than sense, and I'm really scared, and I'm putting it off. Okay, so I haven't put in my citizenship application yet, and the reason I haven't put in my citizenship application is, I mean, number one, oh god, my credit card debt is going to skyrocket because it costs so much money to make a citizenship application. It's £1,600 just for the citizenship, and then I'm going to need to get a passport after that, which is another couple $100. Scary. So, having a great time with all of that. But also I'm scared. I'm scared about doing it. Like, they're not going to deny my citizenship application because, like, I already have ILR. I've been here for X number of years. But the thing that scares me, which is so stupid, it's so dumb, it's so stupid, is you need, like, endorsements from 2 British citizens. What the hell has happened to my lighting? Hello? My light hasn't changed in intensity, but my camera's decided it has. Hello? Okay, we're back. Sorry about that. I didn't mean to blow your eyes out there. But anyways, so yeah, I have to get two people to, like, vouch for me. And that shouldn't be a problem. I know many people who are from here, who have British passports, who aren't related to me. One of them has to be of a certain, like, specific set of categories of professional, which is a little bit more difficult. But also it's just they have to have known you for, like, X amount of time, and they have to be of a certain set of professionals. And as always, these lists are a little bit vague, and it's not 100% clear whether or not a person is applicable. I don't necessarily know people who have the right jobs like that, so that makes it scary. Like, I can't. The thing is, okay, like, I do have a day job. I do work part-time, and like, I don't talk about it much on here, but I do work in higher education. So, like, I know, like, academics and professors and stuff, and there's probably someone in among that pool of people that I could ask. But it just feels like, even though it's like a form that's going to take them like 5 minutes to fill out, it just feels like an imposition. And that feels really scary and bad. And I feel bad asking. You know what I mean? So, like, I don't want to. What if they say no, they don't want to do it? Then I'm going to feel stupid and embarrassed. It's so embarrassing. It's just the level of vulnerability I'm showing here, you know? Like, my ability to get a British passport depends on having to ask someone that I'm professionally acquainted with, who has a certain specific job, whether or not they're willing to fill out a form for me, even though it's not work-related, for free because they like me. That's... like, I'm working myself into a tizzy just thinking about it. That is absolutely freaking horrifying. And I'm so scared. I'm so scared, y'all. I don't want to do it. I have been putting this off because I am so scared to ask someone, especially, you know, these are really busy people who are always under, like, constant, like, large amounts of pressure and have, like, massive demands placed on them, you know? It's just like, oh, wow, you mean you're the director of this, like, you know, research institute, you chair a bunch of committees, you supervise a bunch of DPhil students, you also teach, and, you know, you do this, that, and the other, like, other stuff. You're on, like, data safety monitoring boards. You are the head of some other research institute as well, just for funsies. And you're the interim director of a third one. And also, you're a trustee of this other thing. And I'm gonna ask you to fill out a form on top of the millions of other demands you have placed on you any given day. And everything is always on fire, and you're under insane amounts of stress. Please do this additional activity for me, which is not related to any of your jobs, simply because you like me enough as a person to do it. I can't do it. I can't do it. I'm, like, paralyzed by this. It's so scary. And it's such a stupid thing. Because it would literally just be, like, shoot off an email being like, Dear Denise, I'm applying for citizenship. Would you vouch for me? Here's a form. It'll take you 5 minutes. You know? Like, that's it. That's all I have to do. And I'm just, like, I'm frozen. Like a deer in headlights. Like a deer in headlights. I can't do it. I can't do it. It's the worst. I just got here and I would endorse you. I'm a British citizen, says Pigeon. I very much appreciate that, Pigeon. But I also don't think that, I don't think I've known you long enough to qualify, because it has to have been for, like, a certain number of years, I think. But I appreciate the gesture. Mimicry says just need to find someone with sufficient hatred for the hostile immigration system. I mean, you know, I think we're all pretty much in that boat here, as a very international institution that, again, is my place of day job employ. I think we all recognize that immigration hassles make it harder for all of us to do anything. Considering this is also the struggle, is that I work for a very international institution that has a lot of international people, which means a lot of the people that I work closely with are either A, based overseas and are not British citizens, or B, are based locally and are also not British citizens. So, it's like it's fine. It's like, oh, why don't you just ask this person? Then that's because they have they're on the same visa as me, you know. um I think of all the people I know. I'm like, well, that person's from the Netherlands, and that person's from South Africa, and that person's from Thailand. It's like, none of us are British. Which is awesome, except when I need a British citizen to just say that they know me. And I'm like, who do I know? No one. Nobody knows me. I'm an enigma. Also, I'm shy and I keep to myself and I don't socialize very much. So, it's just whittling down the number of people. Anyways, but yeah. Puts stargazing with Celeste on her Lego wish list, says Owl Quill. Hell yeah. An excellent choice. I have a friend who Celeste is their favorite Animal Crossing character, and they did get it for themselves for Christmas. And I think they're having a lovely time. So, yeah, I do. It's a small set, so if you want something that will fit into, like, a small space, and you also really love Celeste, good set. Excellent set. Or next time a doctor gives you some consent form, bam! Uno reverse card says mimicry. That's an interesting point you brought up, my friend, because it turns out you can't ask a doctor. I mean, you can't. Okay, so there's two types of endorsements you need. Just an endorsement from someone who's a British citizen who knows you and isn't a member of your family. Fine, whatever. And two, someone who's a British citizen who belongs to certain professional categories. And one of the categories you're not allowed to ask is a doctor. Which is wild. Because I feel like for a lot of people, I mean, personally, I don't have a GP. Like, I go to the GP's office and I've never seen the same doctor twice, I think, at this practice in years. And I've been here for years, and it's always somebody different. And then I'll get, like, I'll go in for, like, blood tests or something, and I'll get blood test results reported to me by another different doctor, who's someone else who I've never met before in my life. And I'm like, who are you? What are you talking about? Where does this come from? So it's not like I can say any doctor knows me, because, I see a person once, they're like, okay, yeah, we don't know what's causing that symptom, just, keep taking Benadryl and see if it goes away on its own. Bye! And then, like, a year later, I'll have another terrible symptom, and they'll be like, oh, we don't know what's causing that symptom. Here, take these antacids for, like, 3 months. See if it gets any better on its own. Bye! And that's me every time I go to the doctor. And it's always a new person. So, Katie, thank you very much for the lurk. Welcome on in. For what it's worth, you are absolutely overthinking this, says Rex. Oh, I know I am. I know. It's a skill that I have honed over many years of, embarrassing myself in social situations and being bullied and generally people not liking me very much. And also just being extremely uncomfortable in social situations. I've talked myself out of a lot of social things over the last few years. Like, I used to go to conventions and events and that kind of thing, and I really don't so much anymore, and part of the reason for that is just abject fear of social rejections and what have you, and not wanting to subject myself to that. That feeling of like, oh, like a couple of years ago, I had the opportunity to meet someone who is fairly famous, who is a performer who I admired quite a bit, and we had a really nice conversation. And then unfortunately, the burden of memory was that I was able to replay that conversation subsequently, and I was like, oh God, was I annoying? Were they annoyed by me? Were they just being polite? And I've talked myself into being like, oh God, they hated me. It was like I asked the stupidest question. Anyways, I need to mute again because my nose is yeah, one moment. Anyways, I'd like to offer a hug, but I'm not sure it's appropriate, says Alquill. I will accept the hug, thank you. Here. Thank you. That was very kind. But yeah, I'm fully, it's one of those things where, like, you're fully aware of the fact that you're just, like, getting in your head about stuff, and yet, on the other hand, that doesn't stop you from getting in your head about it. It just makes you go, like, I'm getting in my head too much about this. I should stop doing that. And then you still do it, and you're like, oh, well, now I just feel stupid for the fact that I know this is stupid, and I'm still doing it anyways. Thanks, brain. Yippee! Anyways, this isn't therapy hours, so, I shall cease. But yeah. I mean, there are myriad other reasons that I don't go to, like, events and conventions and stuff as much these days, and a lot of that is to do with, like, expense and just being tired all the time as well, which certainly doesn't help. I think at this point, if I were to go to a convention, it would be as a vendor, and I haven't done that because it's very expensive often to do, and there's a lot of factors to consider if you decide to vend at conventions, and I know other artists who do, obviously, and in some cases do quite well, but it's a very variable experience depending on quite a lot of things, actually, depending on the event. Like, I had to that end, I used to, it wasn't like vending at a convention, but I did do I was part of a city center wide event in my hometown once, where they would have, like, art installations and art shows go up for a specific, like, night of the month across town, and people could go attend all of these events. There was, like, you know, sort of art shows, art installations, performances, all kind of stuff happening in and around the city center. And I participated, I think, twice. The one time it was at a space that had my art up for, like, the whole month, which was really cool. But the second time that I did it was in a space that is, like, above this art supplies shop that they use for both, like, art shows but also classes. So it's like, I put my art up that night for people to view that night, and then took it down and, you know, took it home at the end of the night. So it was like a one night thing. And it happened to be just the shittiest weather. It was probably January or February, if memory serves. And it was in a space up a quite steep flight of stairs in the center of my hometown, which, you know, is a pretty big city. Like, it had a pretty thriving art scene, just you know, for clarity. But, like, the weather it was snowing, it was snowing and raining. It was, like, that kind of weather where it was, like, just sort of on the cusp between snow and rain, so it was really just wet and nasty clumps of disgustingness falling down, slush all over the roads and sidewalks, and it was dark out because it was the middle of winter, and oddly enough, people didn't necessarily want to be, like, walking out and about between different venues throughout the city center when the weather was that terrible. So I had a person turn up the entire night. It was just me and all of the nice muffins I'd baked, because I baked muffins for the event because I wanted it to be special, and all of my paintings and stuff. And yeah, just, like, no one was there. No one came. I didn't sell anything, and basically no one saw any of my work, and it was incredibly depressing. So yeah, I would not consider that, like, the best time. And so I'm a little on the fence about, like, in-person events because of that. I actually did vend at a convention once, but it was kind of an unconventional vending setup. They had basically, like, an art gallery in one sort of side room of the convention space, where they had a bunch of artists set up, like, they had, like, little sections where you could just set up, like, a display of your artworks, and you could, you know, have things available for sale. Dan says, oh, Sammy, I'd walk at least 10 minutes in moderate drizzle to see your art. Oh, thank you. But yeah, so I got, I had like the instructions from the email when I'd been accepted to this art show were fairly minimal, and just kind of explained like what the space looks like and what you need to bring and blah blah blah. So I did all that. I prepared adequately. I brought my pieces to sell. And then I got there and I was like, hey, I'm one, sort of, I'm an artist, I'm here to set up. And the volunteer who was attending the art gallery at that point was like, okay, just pick any empty, like, section, and set up however you want. And I was like, okay. And I set up, sort of my artwork there. And then when I turned up at the end of the event, the person I was speaking to, taking everything down, who, sort of, because they sell things on your behalf and they tally everything up to make sure to know how much to then, like, transfer to you at the end of the event, chewed me out for not having, like, checked in properly at the beginning of the art show, so they didn't know how to, like, they didn't know, how, like, where to put my sales and stuff, and was, like, super mad at me about it. And I was like, I'm sorry. When I got here, I spoke to a person and they told me to just pick a section and set up my artwork. So I thought that was fine, and I had no reason to not think that that was fine. Please don't yell at me. I am a tiny little creature who had no reason not to trust that this person was competent. It's not my fault. And this person was super mad at me about it, despite the, like, how was I supposed to know that the person who told me to do a different thing was just either lying to me or also was missing information? Was I the only person who was fed this incorrect information? I don't know. Anyways, it's made me really scared of doing conventions ever since, because I don't like being yelled at by forthright American women. I don't know why that's so specific. I don't like being yelled at all, but specifically, I don't know. There's something about a forthright American woman that can be very, very intimidating. But yeah, it was awful. Anyways, I did get paid. I didn't sell very many, but I did sell a few pieces at that, and I felt good about it. And I checked my inventory when I got home, and like they had tallied up my sales correctly. It was fine. I spent way more money getting prints printed than I did receiving funds for having sold the prints, and I ended up putting the rest of them on Etsy, and there's either they've been recycled or any unsold stock from that is still somewhere in my parents' house, and it's extremely old, like 15 years old art that I would never consider selling now because I'm like, oof. But that doesn't mean other people still like it. Anyways, yeah, that was awful. It was not fun. They should have given you information about the sign-in process beforehand, so you all could be sure you had all info prepared, says Alquil. Yes, exactly. Like, it should have been things that were telegraphed to me before I even got there. But I think this is just one of those, like, otherwise as a convention, this was a very long-running convention run by very experienced volunteers generally. But I think anytime you get something that's run by volunteers that has this many moving parts, things are gonna F up at some point, you know what I mean? And I just happened to get the short straw of the thing that got F'd up at this convention. So, like, it happens. Telegraphed, how long ago was this? Geez, probably like 2009. But yeah, that sucked. Anyways, Rex says, meanwhile in Ohio, during a storm that shut down half the country, an outdoor chili cook-off still had to turn people away because they were at max capacity. Well, listen, here's the thing, Rex. Here's the thing. The difference is, chili is delicious. And honestly, when the weather is cold and terrible, and, like, snowy and rainy and nasty, I do genuinely want a nice big bowl of chili with a little sprinkling of cheese on top. That sounds so good. And now I'm mad that I'm not having chili for dinner tonight. I could have chili if I wanted to. I do have chili ingredients. But that being said, I was planning to make lentil pasta with tuna, which is also an extremely comforting dish. It's kind of like, I feel like I've never had tuna casserole as a dish. Like, I've heard of it, but I've never had it. But I have for like gazillions of years been making a dish that's effectively just like, you take a tin of tuna and you cook a thing of pasta, you put the two of them together, you add some, some sauteed onions, and in our case peas, but I also used to use celery, but my moderator slash spouse doesn't like celery, so I don't put celery, I just put peas. And you cook it down with a little bit of vegetable stock, just to give it some additional savoriness. And if you were the kind of person who liked freshly cracked black pepper, it would be very applicable in this case. But my moderator slash spouse doesn't like black pepper, so I don't put pepper, even though I do. But I love him, and I like it without as well. And then you stir in a whole bunch of yogurt at the end, so it's got kind of like a creamy sauce going. And man, it is just the best and super easy. Is that tuna casserole? Wow, 2 girl, 1 cook. Thank you for letting me know. Also, hello, welcome in. Is that just tuna casserole? I have learned a thing. I don't know. I always assumed that casserole was something that you like bake in an oven. Whereas this is just on the hob. Anyways, yes, and at the oven baking part. Oh my god, you're blowing my mind, 2 girl. You're blowing my mind. But there are no rules. Wow. I guess I'm making tuna casserole tonight. Yippee! Ohio patrons support the arts, come what may. Hell yeah, Dan, you love to hear it. I've been through Ohio, but never to Ohio. I think I've spent several hours at a couple of bus stations in Ohio, and that's about as much as my experience of Ohio extends to. But I will say it was fine. And also, I do know some people who are from Ohio, and they are nice. So there you have it. I've also heard that actually, like, accent-wise, weirdly, the native Ohio accent is not that far off from my own, which is, South Canada. So, interesting. I think, anyways. Okay, I've added some ickle grass gubbins. I feel like that's kind of filled out the area and made it feel a little bit more populated. It feels a little bit less just like light and nothing. It sounds like you saw most of what we have to offer, says Rex. Actually, saying that, there is a YouTube person that I watch who sometimes talks about knitting, and she was talking about how one of the things that she likes less about where because she's recently moved to Ohio, I think in the last year or so, and finds that there aren't as many good local yarn shops as where she used to live in Massachusetts. And I think that would make me sad. Though that being said, I tend to just order things online, in terms of like craft supplies anyways. It's nice to have a shop to go to, but I will occasionally visit a wool shop in London or like a fabric shop in London, but we don't really have anything here that is comparable. We do have a couple of wool shops, but they tend to be quite small, so they don't have a huge range. And I also just don't do that much knitting. But in terms of fabric, I would say like 90% of the fabric I buy, not sponsored, is from this one shop that's based in Kent, who do the most beautiful like natural fiber fabrics. I will show you one that I have from them that I will be soon to be working with. It is going to be the lining fabric, so it's a very contrasting lining because the main color of the piece is kind of like this matte but like darker, so it's like a really deep green linen, and then the lining is going to be this, which is sort of I would describe it as like a grayish lavender kind of vibe, and the color is a little bit. There's dimension to the color in terms of the weave and I think the way that it was dyed. So it is all one color, but it has a little bit of like dimensionality to it in terms of the weave, and it's super soft, and it's really lightweight and lovely. And I think it's going to make a really nice lining for this 18th century style wrapping gown that I am making. Very excited. Anyways, again, not sponsored. But this fabric comes from a fabric shop called Merchant and Mills, and I'm very into just sewing my own stuff. now. A, because it means that my clothes are exactly what I want them to be, and they're nice and comfy. And also B, comparing and contrasting what I want to make versus how much it would cost to buy something similar to the kinds of things that I want to make out of the fabrics that I want to make them, it is genuinely less expensive for me to buy fabrics. Because let's say, you know, for like this project, I think I need about 2.5 meters of linen, which at about, you know, 20 quid roughly a meter, which feels like a lot, but that's like 50 quid. And for like a solid, like good non-fast fashion garment, is gonna be way more expensive than that. So I'm happy to put out a little bit for a fabric that is going to be way more cheaper than buying something ready-made. And also, the last time I bought something ready-made from like an existent large sustainable brand on clearance sale, I found that, oh wow, this looks terrible on me because it was clearly designed for someone who's like 5'11" and has 0% body fat, even though it is sized for someone who, you know, has, you know, sort of wider measurements, and I am, you know, I am a short, tubby person. Yeah, it is clearly, the cut is just so bad on me because it was clearly designed to look good on someone, you know, very tall and willowy, and just makes me look sad and bad, and I'm like, you know, I can do better myself, so I'm just doing better myself, though. It's fun. Anyways, I forget why I got onto this topic. I'm sorry. Anyways, Rex says, sound like you saw most of what we have to offer. Yay! A couple of chains came in the 90s and beat out all the local fabric/crafts shops and then went under, at least in my region. Oh, yeah. Because there was, what was it? Was it Joann's Fabrics? Was that the one that got torpedoed recently? You know, you hate seeing it. You hate seeing it where, like, because that's what happened with Toys R Us in like this country as well, some years ago. We used to have Toys R Us shops, which were great. I loved Toys R Us. It was a fun place to walk around and listen to the music about millions of Jeffries and buy stuff. Toys R Us is back, kind of, but at least here, Toys R Us is back as like a section of another store. And it's not really the same. But what happened was, you know, it got bought up by what's it called? What's it called? What's the name of that phenomenon? Private equity. That's right. Private equity, venture capitalist stuff. They purchase these companies, and then they're like, you know, we'll actually make money if we just close all the stores. Ho, 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 ho. Weird accounting. I don't understand how that works, but that seems to happen an annoying amount. A perfectly viable, cromulent, functional business that people need and enjoy gets bought out by private equity, and private equity's like, you know, we'll get a tax break if we close all the stores down. You know what I have to say to that? That's what I have to say to that. Get in the goddamn bin. I'm sorry. That is not very cozy of me. But boo earns. I hate it. Happy little trees, says Joe. Hell yeah, happy little trees. I'm still trying to work up the nerve to learn sewing clothes, says Alquill. You should do it. I wholeheartedly recommend. A good starting point is sewing other smaller household things, like, say, like a throw pillow cover or something like that, and then work your way up to like a pair of, you know, sort of like pajama bottoms. I think the first thing that I ever learned to sew officially was like a pair of shorts. And that was a good starting point because it was fairly not fitted, you know, it had like elastic in the waist and whatever. Last year was Joann's. Yeah, it was a great store. It was mismanaged and sold to, yay, venture capitalists that then immediately liquidated it to resell the properties. It's just sucks. It just sucks. It just sucks. Joe says da-doo-da-da-da. I'm assuming that's a song. Anyways. Rex says, then in like 2016, 2018 was an amazing store, Pat Catan's. Private equity feels like corporate murder, says Katie. It sucks. It sucks and I don't like it. Private equity needs to be stopped. I could use a laundry bag to hang on my bathroom door. Also a good choice of project. Laundry bags or like little tote bags. That kind of thing. Gift bags. Ooh. This is something I've been meaning to do with like leftover fabrics, is use them to make like fabric gift bags to give like Christmas presents and that kind of thing instead of just using paper. And then therefore being able to reuse those bags for subsequent gifts. Good stuff. Rex says, so we've got Michaels, which kind of sucks, and Hobby Lobby, which publicly hold moral values that make a review. The Hobby Lobby drama is buck wild. I have looked into it before, and it's up there with the founders of Celestial Seasonings, which I think no longer own or run Celestial Seasonings, so I don't feel bad about drinking sleepy time tea when I'm in Canada, but, jeez. Oh! You mean mana mana, Joe. I know what you mean. Wouldn't touch Hobby Lobby with a 20-foot pole. No, absolutely. If I lived somewhere where that was a shop that was available, they would not be receiving my money. We do have Hobby Craft here in the UK, which as far as I know is a perfectly fine company. As far as big companies go. But yeah, anyways. Yeah, exactly. Yes, illegally smuggling archaeological artifacts, Owl Quill. That's it. Like, literally. Literally. This is supposed to be a shop where you go buy scrapbooking supplies and, like, you know, little paintbrushes for your model airplanes. And they're out here illegally smuggling archaeological artifacts and having inflammatory political views. Like, it's just, oh, yeah, I don't want to give you my monies. No. No, thank you. It's wacky. Wacky is what it is. The word I am looking for is wacky. I think I've put enough stuff in the landscape that I can actually paint Terry, which is very exciting. So, I'm gonna, once again, just load up my little brushie, and I'm using this little brushie a lot right now with green paint. Hobby Lobby goes in the same bin as Chick-fil-A for me, says Katie. Yep. Absolutely. I ate Chick-fil-A a grand total of once when I was in Georgia when I was 19 years old, and never again. I don't think we knew how much the people of that brand sucked at that point. It was more, oh hey, this is an American place I've never been to, and I'm visiting the America, which I don't think I'd really done very much up to that point in my life. Oh, would you look at that? Terry has colored in foot. Yay. Okay, we are coasting towards an ad break right now. And I'm hoping that I can finish getting a coating of beautiful paint onto Terry's beautiful Rainine flesh before we go, but oh, whomst knows. I did have to look up at one point what the word was for pertaining to frogs, and the answer is Rainine, in case you're curious. Good Christian companies, which absolutely don't understand what the Bible says about moral values. Oh, don't get me started, or we'll be here all night. And I don't want to get into religion stuff because a lot of it makes me very angry. But yeah, it is. Wow. There's a lot of cognitive dissonance, a lot of hypocrisy, a lot of just all-around bad vibes, if I'm being honest. Anyways, we've got 15 seconds on the clock. I need to paint Terry's head! Ah! And then we'll go to ads. Anyways, you're not going to miss anything in the ad break, don't you worry. We will have a little drink, have a little stretch, have a little break. Listen to the ad music, and then we'll come back feeling all refreshed and good. So, I will hit, wait, are we starting religion? Absolutely not! Absolutely not! No. We are not. Anyways, hi, Tals. It's time for a break. I'm so sorry you're here just in time for the BRB, but BRB, everybody. Yay! Ads are done. Hi, everyone. I'm back. Yay! Welcome back, friends. Hello. Thank you for sticking around. Anyways, Rex says I'm already a member of Christianity. That's all I need. Perfect. Bravo. Bravo. If it's Kirsty, that's fine. Anyways, hi. Welcome back, everybody. Thank you for sticking around. If you have, I appreciate it. Very much I do. I'm going to give these little feets an attempt at a second coat. Just to try and make them match Terry's face. Please be all the same approximate value of green. I would be very, very, very grateful for that. That would be super cool. Close enough. Moving on. Okay. Yeah, I don't know if we're gonna finish Terry, but I'm gonna color in some more of Terry because we can. Now I have been using a quite limited palette of colors. We're basically kind of sticking with mostly these with just a little bit of this, but I think for Terry's staff I might want to bring in just a tiny amount of this, or maybe I can use this. No, I should use this. Okay, I will use this, but just here. I'm gonna get all of the green out of this brush if I can. God, this brush is dying. This brush wants to die so bad. This brush is like, please put me out of my misery. No, we're not done with you yet. You're not finished. You've got miles to go before you can sleep. I'm not done with you yet. Anyways, this is appropriately, I named this my Frog and Toad color palette, because if you're familiar with the Frog and Toad adventures by Arnold Lobel, you will know that it employs a color palette that's very kind of just like green and brown, and like that's it. Those are like the two colors in the Frog and Toad palette. And I think that this color palette scheme situation is very warm and cozy, and cute. So I thought it would be nice to have just like a palette of paints where I could kind of play with that myself. Maybe I don't actually even need the orange. I don't think I need the orange. Hey, Chromatic Kitten, thank you very much for the lurk. Welcome in. Hello. Rex says, work is done. Have a good night and anniversary. Thank you so much. Speaking of anniversaries, my moderator/spouse is home. I will be back in just a second. I have to go greet him. Darling, welcome home. Hello. How are you? Was it wet out there? Or are you just happy to see me? And then hear some dry coat. Oh, my day was alright. My tummy hurt. Still. Again. There were no substitutions or omissions from the grocery order, so like all of our food is present and accounted for and fine, which is great. And also, one more thing. I love you. Yay! Yippee! Okay. All right, my moderator/spouse has been Gret, and apparently it's quite sort of drizzly and nasty out there, so he's gonna change into some dry home clothes from his damp work clothes. And in the meantime, I'm going to try and direct some of this yellow paint towards creating the kind of effect I want from this little magic staff, which does indeed have a giant cloudberry on top of it, because why not? I'll close this. I think in online shops I've seen small brushes with short hair labeled detail brushes. Yes. Yes, maybe I should be looking for that specifically. I shall have a little look. See, I've been looking more for like line brushes, like this bad boy, which I use for like doing my outlines and stuff, which is, it's out of focus, but it's very, it's got a very, it doesn't have as good of a point as it was when I first got it. This brush is gonna go bad fairly soon too, I think, but I do have a backup brush for when this dies, which is this. I don't know if you can see how extremely teensy the tip of this little bad boy is. It still has its little hat on, so it doesn't get all ruined. But this extremely teeny tiny little guy is for teeny tiny little details. This one's got a little bit more thickness on it than that, and it needs a little bit more thickness because I'm using it more for filling in small spaces that are too little to do with something this thick. I used to use like a thick brush for absolutely everything, and I just kind of got frustrated. I get frustrated with the amount that I have to like re-dip in paint with something like this because it's so teensy. But on the other hand, I get frustrated with something like this because it's so thick that I don't have quite the same amount of control in the tiny details, in the tiny textures and that kind of thing. So, you know. Anyways. That's that. I would like this to dry so I can go in and give it a second go, with just a little bit of a deeper yellow in some of the bits to give it a little bit of that cloudberry blush. I'm gonna sip my tea again. I'm gonna have some of my mint, which is yum yum yum. It's just like I am a connoisseur of teas. There are so many teas in this house, but I've been finding lately that I haven't been drinking as many of my black teas as I used to. If I have a black tea these days, it'll probably be something fairly straightforward. Whereas I've got all of these black teas with like spices and flavors and all kinds of other gubbins going on in them, and I'm just kind of not really drinking them. I'm just enjoying like more herbal teas, I think. I don't know why that is. It's just what I'm into at the moment. I like things with a lot of spices and stuff, and then like this is like apple and cinnamon situation. I think possibly because in general black teas I tend to prefer with milk, and I'm not really feeling milky teas at the moment. And when I am feeling a milky tea, it generally ends up being just like a Builder's. Which I don't know if that's boring. But, hey, no, there's nothing boring about a Builder's tea. I think Builder's teas are... That's not a Builder's tea, hold up. I think Builder's teas are cute. And so should you. Here's a painting I posted yesterday. I still really like this painting. I think it is somewhat particular to, like, British people getting the reference. For anyone who isn't British and is like, why does it say spore dyer? There is a phenomenon in the United Kingdom where almost every kitchen you encounter, especially in offices, but in people's homes as well, will have a very oversized mug. Like, this mug contains, I don't know, it is a stupid amount of milliliters of tea can go into one of these mugs. No one has ever purchased one of these mugs. They say Sports Direct, which is the name of a chain of shops where you can buy things like, running shoes and tennis rackets and whatever, swimsuits, that kind of thing. Things that you would need for sports, right? Anyways, but yeah, these mugs just kind of materialize in a kitchen out of nowhere, like magic. They are very ubiquitous. So seeing a Sports Direct mug containing a Builder's tea is a very standard experience. I think it's something that it feels like most British people will at least understand a Sports Direct mug. Spore dyer, says Tals, writing this down. Yes, exactly, yes. Pigeon says, this piece is stunning, by the way. I adore everything about it. Oh, thank you so much. That's incredibly kind of you to say. Thank you. Tal says, I've definitely seen that mug. Yeah, Every office I've ever worked in, there is a Sports Direct mug at the back of the kitchen cupboard. like every single one. Is there one in this house? I think it might be. If there is, I think it might be being used to like hold random stuff. But I think there probably is one somewhere in the house. We don't. But if we do, we don't drink. We have so many mugs. This one has lighthouses on it, and also a streak of paint, where I got paint on it earlier this stream, probably. So let me just get rid of that. Okay, that's better. This one has lighthouses on it, and I can't tilt it any further than this, or I will get tea on my painting, and I don't want to paint with tea today. I love a good lighthouse motif, as you may well know from the number of times I've painted lighthouse scenes on this stream before. I haven't painted a lighthouse scene in a while. I should do that again. Time to wrap up my day, says Alcohol. I enjoyed the stream very much. Take care. Thank you so much, you too. Thank you. I hope you enjoy your evening. And this is a very seasonally appropriate mug with all kinds of like Halloween paraphernalia and bats and spideys and various pumpkins on it. I like this mug, even though I am an arachnophobe. And to that end, by the way, I'm streaming Silk Song tomorrow morning, and I am not looking forward to it. Because, spoilers for Silk Song. We have to fight something scary with legs that remind me of a spider, and I don't like that because I'm scared of spiders. And normally, I can kind of put that aside in Silk Song because everything is all stylized, but oh my god, there's a kiwi on my head. I better keep still. I'm holding very still because I don't want to upset the kiwi on my head. Mira, thank you very much for the kiwi. Thank you for the plaps. I hope you're well. Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate it. I am staying motionless. I hope you're having a lovely Thursday. I hope you've had a good week. And yeah, speaking of birds of New Zealand, I don't know if anyone's aware, but the kakapo, which is a very small in number species of bird, which, as you know, I'm awfully fond of. It is their breeding season currently, and so I am, you know, like reading with great interest every time there's an update from like whatever the name of their department of birds and stuff in New Zealand about like how's it going, who's laid some eggs, how are the eggs doing, all that kind of thing, waiting anxiously for like the first chick to hatch, that kind of thing, because they don't breed every year. Their breeding conditions are very specifically dependent on like whether or not a certain species of tree will produce enough fruit, because that they need that fruit for energy and feeding their babies and stuff. So it's very important that the tree bears enough fruit that that they're going to be able to make babies. And it hasn't happened in 4 years. So we're just like, hey, and hoping that they make lots and lots and lots of babies. Lots and lots of babies. I do know the kakapo. I love them, says Pigeon. Hell yeah. They are wonderful. They are so cute and so sweet. They're generally pretty shy, and they're green and cute, and they don't fly, but they sort of waddle around, and they're really cute, and I love them so much. Are those the ones that destroy cars, asks Mimicry. I don't think so. They tend to be in fairly remote areas. Partially because they've been like, basically, so the thing about the kakapo is that they used to be very ubiquitous on the islands of New Zealand, but they were in I think like the sort of 19th, early 20th century, their numbers like dwindled significantly due to introduction of non-native predators and human interventions. And at some point folks were like, hey, this is bad actually. Like their numbers were in the double digits. There's now about 240 of them in total at all in the world. The Kea is the car wrecker, says Katie. Thank you. Yes. But yeah, they are innocent little green babies who have never done anything wrong, says Pigeon. I wholeheartedly agree. They are lovely and sweet, and crucially, they are very, very small in number. As I say, they used to be quite ubiquitous and were, unfortunately, due to like humans and especially sort of humans transplanted from mostly Europe in decades and centuries past, not really having a mindfulness for like the land and its inhabitants the way that we try to now. Yeah, they were down to like the double digits in population, which is devastating. But the fact that they've managed to increase the population now to about 240 is phenomenal and so good, and things are continuing to trend in the right direction. They're very hopeful for a very productive breeding season this year, and so I've been watching with great interest as this progresses in through the next few months, and I hope that they're able to produce many healthy babies. I have just been dooting around my Instagram page to try, and here's one I painted earlier. This is based on an actual kakapo who exists in real life, who is a lovely fellow. He's older than I am. His name is Rangi, and I have adopted him for several years now. They have the like kakapo recovery team have an annual adoption drive that they do, where for an amount of money you can quote unquote adopt a kakapo, and you get a little adoption certificate, and they'll also send you like updates at certain points during the year of like how is your adopted little buddy getting on, and yeah, this little guy is very elusive. He's very shy, and he just disappeared for several months, and they're like, well, we think he's fine, but his transmitter broke. But we did eventually find him again, and he's all right. But he's a very shy plum, and a handsome boy with a sweet face, and I love him so much, and I love them all. And he looks like a good boy, says Mimicry. He is a good boy. I love him so much. And I just want him to be happy and well and okay. And I love them so much. I do get a touch like silly emotional about it, which is silly, but frankly, tough biscuits. I just love birds, and they are special to me because they're so sweet. They're so sweet, but they're also so small in number, and unfortunately, the number of bird species that are small in number is too many, and it maketh me sad. I was thinking the other day about the northern lapwing and the extent to which the lapwing population here in the UK shrunk over the last some decades, because of I think largely because of like agricultural interventions in this case, like like lapwing nests and that kind of thing being too adjacent to like farmers' fields and getting damaged because of that kind of thing. And so there's been efforts in more recent years of sort of education on this, of sort of trying to get farmers to be mindful of watching out for like lapwing nests and making sure that they're not disturbed and that kind of thing. Because if you've ever, oh god, lapwings are so cute. They're so cute. I love them so much. Lapwing was my Merlin at bird of the day the other day. Didn't see one though, indeed never have, says Tals. I've never seen one out in the wild. And they are also very good boys. Hold on. Here we go. Finding you a picture of the beautiful northern lapwing. Here, Oh no! Oh, I zoomed it in because that picture of the Dala horse earlier was so big. I'm zooming it back down to 100%. For look at them. They have such a silly little like whoop on their head, which I absolutely love, and then the iridescence of like their wing plumage is just stunning. They are so stinking cute. I love them so much. They're so fanciful. Um, and I really want to paint one, but I think I will need to bust out some of my like duochrome iridescent paints in order to do it justice. Um, but I would really like to paint one. I don't know how I would. The thing about the iridescent paints and like the duochrome paints and that stuff is really hard to show you online, like how dimensional it makes paintings look. And I don't tend to sell originals. I do have like a Patreon tier and also a membership option on my Ko-fi if you want an A7 sized original painting from me that will probably use something shiny. I think just about every painting I've done on this tier I've employed shiny paint somewhere, but it's this size. Um, and you get a portrait of a little guy of some description. And that's pretty much the only originals that I sell, because I figure the amount of time it takes me to paint one of these, the amount I would have to charge for an original is way more than anyone wants. So I just never do. Unless someone like really desperately wanted one, or like as a commission. I do commissions as well. I should probably shout out my shop. You can get to my commissions page from there as well. There we go. This stream has been brought to you by me. Hi, I'm an artist, and you can buy art from me. Anyways, yeah, part of the reason that I do incorporate like shiny elements into these originals is it's kind of the only way you can see really what they look like in real life. Ooh, I do also have a print that is hand. You have the option to have it hand embellished in gold, with gold paint, which is a little more expensive because I have to spend, you know, a reasonable amount of time repainting sections of it with gold paint on top of the print, which thankfully worked really, really well. And it looks gorgeous, but it is a faff. So, and it is more expensive. And art is expensive, and I want people to be able to afford to buy things, so I try and do things that are not too expensive. Anyways, blah, 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 blah. I don't know what is the appropriate era, but they are some era of dandy, says Tals. Yes. Yes, they super are. I'm wondering if maybe like 18th century, because I feel like a lot of men's style in the 19th century gets a little less colorful. Maybe like late 18th century, where you were still seeing some like colorful silks and embroideries and that kind of thing before they moved towards like everyone is in like tan trousers and like navy blue jackets kind of thing. Maybe like late 18th century dandy. I could see that. Oh man, now I want to draw what that would be if like a lapwing was a person. That guy would be so fancy. I love him already. What's the... Ooh, also, I really like the scientific name of the lapwing, but I've forgotten what it is now, so let me just double check. I think it's one of those... Yeah, it's one of those ones where it's just the same word twice. It's Vanellus Vanellus, which is delightful. Oh, they're so good. They're so good. I love them so much. Terrible drawing time. Lapwing dandy. Oh boy. Okay, I don't know exactly how to do this, but I will. Okay, am I doing like a human person if the lapwing was a human person dandy, or am I doing like an anthropomorphic bird situation? I kind of want to do the latter, partially because I have a a Dracula parrot. So I think they're going to go together. This is our terrible drawing canvas for the moment. So if you don't know, for 5,000 channel points, I've got 5 minutes or less to draw a character or concept of your choosing from memory or sight unseen on the terrible drawing canvas. This is our current one. I did fill one up recently. Is it in here? Yes, it is. It looks like this. The drawings are all very silly. Just the idea. And I accept no responsibility for any psychic damage that may incur as a result of your terrible drawing. With that being said, the psychic damage almost always is done to me. So, like, it's fine. Don't worry about it. But anyways. Okay, here we go. I'm gonna get my timer out, set my timer for 5 minutes, and then do my best That's what I'm gonna do. It's pretty much the only thing I can ever do. Weirdly enough, I am incapable of exceeding my best. And my best varies from day to day, but you know what? My best is what I continue to try. Anyways, the timer's going, so I better heckin' do this. Okay, so I'm gonna have this lapwing just kind of be hanging out with this Dracula parrot, because I think that would be fun. But they've got kind of a little more like that. Now I'm drawing this from memory, but we'll see how we get on. I don't remember what all of their plumage looks like, but I shall endeavor as best as I can. And if some of it is lightly inaccurate, that's okay. Actually, maybe I'm gonna hold on. Whoa! I'm gonna drop my eraser first. That's what I'm gonna do, and then I'm gonna have them kind of holding one wing out, kind of like so. So they're like kind of, I don't know, doing a gentlemanly kind of gesture toward the other fellow. I don't know if this is going to translate, but we'll try our best. So here's their little wing. There we go. And they are such a friendly little guy, but they are also crucially they are also wearing a little waistcoat, and they've got a little cravat on, I think, because that's a very sort of dandy kind of look to have going, is to have a nice little cravat like so. Some layers going in there, and then their little waistcoat on top of that with little buttons. And oh boy, don't they just look handsome in their little outfit. Oh my god, what am I doing? This is so silly. This is so stupid. I love it. I'm going to get some. They've got these little pockets. This little pocket style that was quite popular in the period, and then also because I can, I'm going to put their tiny little bird legs are going to be in like little knee breeches, because how stinking cute is that? The little knee breeches with a little fall front, of course, and there we go. Okay, so I've got, kind of looks like he's leaning on something, but there isn't anything there. He's just kind of doing a just a gentlemanly gesture with his little bird wings. So stupid. Okay, and I wish I could add sort of iridescent color to this, but I can't do it because I've only got the one color. But I will try and get some of the coloration of the lapwing's head plumage, which, do I remember off the top of my head exactly what the lapwing's head plumage is like? No, I don't. Also, can I, you know what, I don't know if lapwings generally like fan their tails particularly. I've never seen them do it, but also I just feel like that's very dandy behavior, is having like a fan of tail behind you. So he's gonna be fan tailing back there, with his lovely tail feathers. There we go. Okay, that's so stupid. That's so stupid. I love it. I love it. Also, I feel like the waistcoat wants to be a darker color, and then have like the little breeches be a lighter color, because that was quite a popular men's fashion was to have like a darker waistcoat, especially as we get later into the 18th and the early 19th century, was to have, though that early into the 19th century and the very end of the 18th century, they would have been wearing like full length trousers and boots, but I don't want to put boots on top of his bird feet, so he's just going to be wearing knee breeches. It's still in the period of knee breeches here. Anyways, this is our dandy lapwing. And Tals, I hope you're happy. Let's compare and contrast how this little guy looks with an actual lapwing bird. Well, here they are. Here's the northern lapwing, yada yada yada. And here is I didn't quite get the plumage right, but you know, I feel like especially with the little doot at the top, you know who it is. You know what the deal is with this bird, right? I will do a proper, like, you know, non-scientific but somewhat more accurate portrait of a lapwing at some point in the future, I'm sure, because I absolutely adore them. Anyways, and they've been on my mind recently, as you do. But thinking about lapwings and gold crests and all of the different species of robin I still need to paint, I want to do like just here's a whole bunch of robins that you might recognize painting that's just all of the robins. Not every robin to ever exist, because there are so many. It is such a massive, like, category of bird species. But I'm glad you approved, Tals. I really do. I had fun doing that. That was a good time. Thank you for inviting me to do it. I do appreciate that. That was good. I'm gonna do, if I can, I'm gonna add just a little bit of brown, just the tiniest amount of brown to this bit of the painting. And I hope that it's not going to break the immersion of the color scheme that we've got going for this magic staff. I hope that'll be okay. But I would like to, I'm going to be wrapping up shortly, I think, because I've just seen the time, and it is ticking. Very much it is ticking. But just wanted to see if I could get, I really was hoping I would be able to get all of this done today, but twas not to be, which is entirely my fault for waffling on, but I'm entirely grateful to y'all for listening to me waffle on, and also conversing with me whilst I waffled, so I had things to say and people to respond to and what have you. You are such a wonderful community to get to talk to. It's so nice to have such a wonderful group of people to chat with while I'm working on stuff. It makes working on stuff so much nicer. I think I talked about this recently, possibly on like our anniversary stream, but part of the reason that I started art streaming in particular was because I needed an impetus to keep myself publicly accountable for actually like making art on a set at least once or twice a week. And I've been doing that for almost 5 years now, so I'm really grateful to y'all for sticking around, hanging out with me, and showing up and being so encouraging. I really appreciate it. I really do. I'm sorry we didn't finish this today. I will probably finish Terry's outfit and just the line weight on him off stream, because there's really not that much left to do. And that way we can do a little Lunar New Year piece at the top of next week, which will be a horse on fire, but like in a magical fun way, and not like an oh no, who set the horse on fire kind of situation. You know what I mean? Like a fancy horse, like with like a flaming mane and tail, and like it looks really cool and stuff, except it's me, so like the horse will look kind of derpy, because I don't horse anatomy is hard. Friend of the channel Sammy Ann I saw recently was working on like doing some horse anatomy practice on their stream, and it was impressive, because like doing like humanoid anatomy practice is hard enough. Horse anatomy practice is a whole other kettle of what the hell. It is terrifying. So, yeah. Anyways, I'm gonna see if there's someone we can raid, because I need to go make what it turns out what I learned from Two Girl, thank you again for letting me know that effectively I didn't know what tuna casserole was, and it turns out I've just been cooking it all this time. So, I'm gonna see if there's someone who can do... Darling! What the heck?
Oh hell yeah, Sledge Callier just subscribed.
Honey.
Look at my horse is amazing. Give it a lick, it tastes like a raisin.
Oh no! That is absolute, that is poetic. That is beautiful poetry. Thank you for the 59 months of sub. Oh my goodness gracious. Thank you so much indeed. Enjoy your emotes and stuff. 59 months, that's almost a year. Old school Weeble and Bob. Oh man, I must have, either I missed that one or I don't know. Oh, good old Mr. Weeble. That is amazing. Thank you so much. What?
All stream stickers are free in 3, 2, 1,
What the
go!
heck is that? Mira, what did you do? What's happening? Y'all can put stickers on and we're having a hype train, I guess. Yeah, please sticker. I don't think they make noise during the sticker party, but please put as many stickers on the thing as you want, because we have a lot. Oh no! Apparently my nose lives on top of the stickers. That's silly of me. Anyways. Well, I guess we're hanging out until the sticker party's done. Hell yeah. Look at the... Oh my goodness, there's raccoons everywhere. What's happening? Thank you so much, you beautiful people. This is adorable. I hope you're enjoying the sticky shenanigans. This has happened maybe a grand total of once on stream before, so I don't know what's happening, but I very much appreciate it. Oh my goodness. Also, it's gonna bother me now that my clown nose is for some reason on top of the stickers. I don't... Wait, how do I fix that? I don't know how to fix it. I think that's just gonna have to be the case for now, but thank you so much for sticking all of those silly little stickers. I appreciate it. Thank you. Mira, thank you very much for the raccoons. I did not know that was a thing that a stream could do. That was adorable. Thank you very much for the biddies as well. That is incredibly kind and sweet. Thank you, thank you. Also, Hornet's just hanging out up there now, apparently. Hi. Okay, bye, Hornet. Anyways, that was really sweet. Thank you. I appreciate it. Guess I'm hanging out a little bit longer. Oh no, I'm broken. Oh, but anyway, thank you very much. It was very, very sweet. Oh no, I just bumped my tooth with my mug trying to take a sip of my tea and being incapable of... I have no spatial awareness, apparently. My tooth is fine. But oh my goodness gracious. Oh, y'all are adorable. Thank you. Very much appreciated. Well, since I'm here for another minute or so, I'm gonna paint in an additional element of this piece. That's what I'm gonna do. I'm going to attempt to paint... I don't know why I chose this color. This is a weird color for me to choose, but whatever. I'm going to do it anyways. I'm going to paint Terry's little belt that has his little accoutrements on it. No, I'm not, because there isn't enough on my brush. Oh, there it goes. Okay. Okay. Yay, I did it. Yay, I did a paint! Congratulations me. We actually did get not a terrible amount of painting done today, which I feel pretty good about, I would say. Feel pretty alright about that. I hope y'all like the way it's going. Like, we're almost done, I would say. We're getting quite close to being done this piece. Probably not too much work to kind of resolve whatever's left off stream. I'm gonna also just get some like nice undyed linen vibes onto Terry's tunic, because he's very much an undyed linen tunic kind of boy. There it is. Wow, so tunic, very bit. Tels, thank you very much for the gnome husbands. Did that play music? That was supposed to play music, and I don't think it did. Oh no, stream stickers, are you broken? Are you broken, stream stickers? But thank you very much for the gnome husbands. If y'all didn't hear music, I can tell you it goes. That's what you're supposed to hear when the gnomes happen. I think maybe the sticker party breaks the audio. I don't know. But thank you very much for the sticker anyways. I'm sorry it didn't work properly. Oh no! Can I... Mara, thank you very much for the ananas. Where is the sticker audio? It's gone! Oh no! Oh no, am I gonna have to go to Stream Sticker website and try and fix it? I'm going to Stream Sticker website because it's bothering me that you can't hear the stream stickers. Especially because you're giving me bits for it. You deserve to be able to hear the streams that you... the sticks that you stick. I can't speak. The streams that you stream? I don't know. Anyways, thank you for the hype train, y'all. That's incredibly sweet. Y'all are wonderful and lovely and delightful. And I don't know why the stickers aren't making noise. That's not very nice. How do I... Wait, where do I log into this... Okay, dashboard. Hold, please. Yes, log in with Twitch. I said log in with Twitch. Working on it. I will get you your stream sticker sounds. This is very important to me that you're getting your value for money. So here we go. Correcting things as best as I can. Thank you for holding. Okay. So we had. Oh God, I hope this works. I really hope that this works. Okay, if I just. There we go. Why was that not working before? I don't know. Anyways, it's back. So that's what that one sounds like. And this is...
Je suis un ananas.
In glorious French, of course, because he is indeed un ananas. And I don't know, have some more just for fun because y'all are the loveliest. Here's... Well, we know this one.
Shaw!
We know that one.
Plap, 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 plap.
That was some plap plaps. I think the audio's back because that worked. Thank you, Mira. Thank you for the plaps, for the additional plaps. Thank you. And what else did we not get to hear? Because the audio like pooped its pants. Hold up. That didn't make any sound. That was supposed to make a sound. Damn it! Hold up. Let's try it again.
Domo.
Okay, well that was in stereo. Oops. But never mind. That's what that one sounds like. And
Oh no.
And of course, I don't remember what combination of letters it took to get her to say "oh no," but it was very important to me that she did. Because that is a feature of certain accents in Australia. It is, and we need to acknowledge that because I think it's really cute.
New limited edition blue raspberry fight milk makes you almost as cool as Hornet.
This one's important because I need it to justify my paying for Epidemic Sound. I need to justify the fact that I pay for Epidemic Sound for like my videos and streams. So I used an Epidemic track on that sticker. Anyways, now you know, that's what all of the stickers that you stuck sound like. I'm so sorry that the sound kind of just, like, decided to poop its pants for a minute and disappear, but that's that. Anyways, thank you for sticking around during that, and thank you again for the hype train, despite the fact that this stream is borked, this streamer is borked. I don't know what it is I'm doing at any time, basically. But, so it goes. shall we go give some hellos to someone who's doing something out there? I think that would be a nice thing to do. So let me see who's online we can do a little raid on, because I do have to go cook dinner. How long have you been streaming for, friend? Are you just about to finish? I can't tell if you're just about to finish, but you're having a chill, quiet stream doing some artwork, so let's go say hi. This is going to be a nice, chill, quiet time for y'all. So, let me pop a generic raid message in the chat. If I could spell, that would be amazing. I will pop some emotes on the raid message. If you have the emotes, feel free to use the emotes. If you do not have the emotes, you can just say generic raid message and or append any cool emotes that you do have. It's all good. I'm very grateful to y'all for hanging out with me today. I've had a really, really fun time working on this piece. Sorry it still isn't done yet. I will, I think, finish the last of Terry's outfit off stream. Right now he looks... I don't like the all-white outfit look for him. It makes him look too much like he's gonna start a cult or something, and we know that's not Terry's vibe. He's just a chill little guy. So I'm gonna color this in real quick between now and Monday. And we'll come back and do something for Lunar New Year next week, which I'm very excited about. I would join that cult, and that's what I'm worried about. I don't want any of you to join a cult. Cults are bad. Except for Yakult, which is good for your tummy. But anyways, I will be back very, very soon. Have a good everything. I will be back tomorrow morning playing Silk Song. Yeah, possibly see you there. If not, have a good weekend. But thank you very much for watching, for hanging out. It's been so much fun! Take care, everyone! Good night, and good luck.